Hi, I'm Paul Lancaster. I'm the founder and event producer of the UK Startup and Scale Up Week Festival, and today I'm here talking to Anna for Be With Anna brand.
Yeah.
I did that actually, one of my TikToks, I'm like, so like the eyebrow flash.
Have you kept it on?
Uh-huh.
I'm going to watch it.
Terrible.
When was it? I'm definitely going to watch that.
Like...
You've got no followers.
Not on TikTok.
I'm shocked. How long you had your account for?
Not long. I've just started using it.
Oh, well, that's why.
But
probably because no one knows you've got that account yet.
I know.
You just have to...
LinkedIn, I get loads, good engagement on LinkedIn. But
if you told people on LinkedIn that you had your TikTok, I'm definitely going to look at that. It's
well, yes, please do.
So what is your TikTok handle? How we
it's just Lord Lancaster.
Oh, what? I was going to ask about that, Lord. What's that, Lord Lancaster? Did you do that yourself, or how did you become a Lord?
Well, you can talk about it in the interview if you want.
Yeah, I want to. Let's talk about it.
I used to dream about being a DJ. I did actually become a semi-professional DJ, producer, club promoter, had my own label and everything.
Really?
Yeah. Critically acclaimed, commercially not that successful, but anyway. But when I was at school, I was like, okay, what would be a cool DJ name? And I used to do tags and stuff. So one of them was DJ Storm.
Right.
Kicking up a hurricane.
Oh, that's mega cheesy, but I like
cheesy.
it.
And the other one, Lord Lancaster, because it was like Judge Jules was quite big at the time,
right,
and I quite liked the alliteration. And anyway, so anyway, fast forward to so many years, I did become a DJ, but I just went by the name Paul Lancaster. I might be more successful if I was Lord Lancaster. Anyway, but then I forgot all about it. And then I got a job working for Shell Livewire, which is a youth enterprise scheme funded by Shell, the petrol company. And on day one, they were like, right, your job is to monitor an online community, like a message board and discussion forum and stuff like that. And you need a username. Just think of a username. And I was just like, Lord Lancaster. It just popped into my head. And I quite like the alliteration, but that it sounds a bit of authority.
It does.
That you're in charge.
Where you want it to be like hip DJ cool, and it ended up being Lord Lancaster.
Lord Lancaster, yeah. but also like it's quite amusing. I find it quite amusing, quite memorable. So basically, I'm Lord Lancaster on all my social media channels now. And then a while back, I met Lord Young, who was like an advisor to the government. He advised Margaret Thatcher and David Cameron on business policy.
Did he think you were a different type of Lord?
Well, I got introduced to him and I was like, Lord Young, this is Lord Lancaster. he like looked us up and down. He was like, oh, what do you do? So I told him, and he was like, oh, right. And I said, how do you become a real Lord then? And he goes, have you got a couple of million in the bank? So I was like, all right, that's what it is. Anyway,
wow.
So I'm Lord Lancaster.
I love that stuff. I was not expecting that. That's much cooler than I was expecting.
But yeah.
Do you still do you have like house parties?
No, I'm thinking of coming out of retirement. DJ retirement. Yes. Exclusive. You heard it here today now.
Imagine the party.
Yeah. All my music's on SoundCloud. You can download all my music.
Is it really?
Yeah. I've got a few mixes on Mixcloud as well.
Oh my God.
It still sounds good.
You need to be doing... I think you should have a massive party and invite just everybody that would normally come to
I mean, it was my life for like... That's what I thought I was going to do. And I've DJ'd in Rome, Malta, Sacramento, Washington, D.C., Seoul...
Wow.
Budapest, Prague,
I feel
London.
like you could combine the two. I feel like you could combine your events and DJing, and it could start off or end with a DJ.
I think the time's right.
Yeah.
But you probably didn't notice, but like even the events, like the big events, I approach them a bit like a DJ set, like the way like each speaker flows. There's a bit of I'm taking people on a journey.
Wow.
With the programming of the speakers, and then even on arrival, I don't know if the music that was playing.
That was the most uplifting thing I'd ever heard.
So I created that playlist.
Did you?
specifically because it's all like
Fantastic.
subliminal messaging and sort of get people in the zone and
Yeah.
get people in the mood. So
It really did. I remember sitting there. You know when you feel like a little bit like emotional, goosebumpy when something, when that came on, it was just the perfect level, like loudness, not loudness, level, sound, volume. It was the perfect level. And it just felt really uplifting, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so ready for this event."
cool. Oh, it worked.
It was
excellent.
honestly, it was brilliant. It was really good.
Good.
The whole day was phenomenal, and because I remember speaking, I hadn't been to one before. And
You
I remember,
weren't going to go, were you?
I wasn't because I thought it was. I'd said to you, "Well, I don't go. I haven't been because it's just for startups." And you had said, "Actually, it's not. It's scale up as well." And have you changed the name? Have you changed it to now say you startup?
So it used to be, it used to be Newcastle Startup Week.
Yes.
So I did 3 of them, but the format's always been the same. It's always been about starting and scaling and funding and investment. But I did make it harder for myself because
Massively.
a lot of people were like, "Oh, well, I'm not a startup," and I know it's there's something views on. "Oh, I'm not from Newcastle." It's like, well, it's not just. Anyway, so when I decided to do it again this year, originally I was going to call it Sunderland Startup Week. But then I thought, nah, I'm going to have the same problem. It'll probably be even harder. So I'm going to call it UK Startup Week. Because there was people from all over the country came to it this year and previous years. But then I renamed it again, UK Startup and Scale Up Week, just to make it really obvious to people.
Which is brilliant because now it is really obvious.
Yeah.
And now you're going to get a whole new different group of people come in.
Well, yeah, it did definitely help. It made it easier to get certain delegates, but certain speakers and certain sponsors as well.
Yeah.
Because I think I always think it's a bit short-sighted when companies are like, "Oh, well, we only want to work with bigger businesses." Like, yeah, but you need more startups to have successful businesses. Like, if you support them at an earlier stage, they'll remember that, and then when they grow and they're successful, they'll want to work with you.
Exactly.
But everybody only wants to work with them when they're already successful. It's too late.
But the thing is, like, so what do they forget about where they were at one point before they were successful? And maybe if they supported other people on that journey a little bit, it would.
I've not thought about it. I think that people who have that attitude aren't business owners. They're people who work for businesses.
Yeah.
So they've never had to run a business. They don't actually know what it's like to start and grow a business.
Yeah.
But
Sarah Davies, that was brilliant.
Oh, she was amazing.
Oh.
She was so good. Like, she was perfect.
What happened? How did you get her on? How did the conversation go? Did you know someone who knew someone who knew someone, or how did you contact her?
So I went through the official route. I went through our agents because I'd had a few people who were saying, "Oh yeah, I'm mates with Sarah Davies." It's like, well, go on then. and like everyone, they probably met her once.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm a mate. Anyway, nothing happened, so I was just like, right, I just need to go direct. So I went the official route through our agents, but they're London-based agents, so straight away they were like, "Oh yeah, it sounds great, but it's like 20 grand to get Sarah." I was like, "Look, I haven't got 20 grand. This is my offer." So I just said, "Look, I've got this much." I said, and they were like, "Well, that's a lot less than she would normally do." I was like, "Yeah, but it's literally 30 minutes from where she lives. It's totally on brand for what she's all about."
Yeah.
And I just really explained the value of the event and what it was all about.
And then you've got to be just hoping that's going to get put in front of her.
Exactly. So they put it to her, and then they came out and they were like, "For one time only, in a never before unprecedented thing, she's going to do it." So I was like, amazing, right?
How did you feel when you got that response?
Yeah, awesome. Because it's funny when you do events like that, because I think all the speakers were amazing. Like, I had over 80 speakers across the 5 days, right? So they were all chosen because I thought they were fantastic at what they do and would add value. But you do need a sprinkling of stars, like bigger names.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, though, sometimes you book a big name and that doesn't actually necessarily sell more tickets.
Yeah.
But it does give you a bit more credibility with certain people. And people are like, "Ooh, wow, you've got Sarah Davies, that's pretty cool." And then they take a closer look. But no, I really wanted her. She was like my number one choice for like a star. But Daniel Priestley as well was mega. He's not that well known, I don't think, in the Northeast. But
no, he's not. He's not, is he?
No, but I knew he would be fantastic. And Paul Mort as well, again, an incredible speaker. They were like the 3 stars for the first day.
Yeah.
That I was like, that I thought people would either know who they were or they would just come away like wowed by them. But then the other speakers as well, I thought were mega as well.
They were just. I was gutted I could only come to that one day, but I was in Rothbury, so it was like an hour drive for me. Otherwise, I would have come to more. But just the first day, that was my only experience of it. But I've seen other people's experiences of it. Obviously, everybody talking about it on social media. But that first day was just absolutely amazing. And like you say, all the speakers were brilliant. I thought the setup was really lovely. I thought I don't know if this makes a difference on what it did for me. As soon as you got there, you could I got straight into a queue for the coffee, because immediately when you got in there, straight into a queue, and ended up chatting to people in the queue.
That's good.
And I thought, I feel like more comfortable already. You know, I'm all right going into big events where I don't know people, but I still don't love not knowing people.
Yeah.
And how do you sort of like? What do you like going into a big event? To be fair, as somebody who organises them, what you like?
I mean, I'm quite comfortable doing it. However, not being a knob about it. Like if I go somewhere in the Northeast, I usually know someone.
Everyone, yeah.
I don't know everyone, but I do usually know someone, right? And I'm like quite comfortable doing that. But I remember I started going up to Scotland quite a lot, and I still go up there now because I think there's a big opportunity to connect the Northeast with Scotland. And I remember going to a big event up in Edinburgh, and I was like, shit, I know nobody here. And there was like a networking thing afterwards, and I was just stood there like, oh, this must be how other people feel when they don't know anyone. And I was like, this is really awkward. So I just stood at the bar, and then I just started talking to someone, and then before you know it, other people join in. But I was like, it's uncomfortable,
but then did that
isn't
make
it?
It's really uncomfortable. Did that make you sort of rethink how yours would be structured, or at least how people
I'm
would meet
mindful
each
of it.
other?
I mean, even so, like the big events, but also the monthly platform events that I run. I don't. Have you been to any platform?
I haven't, but I'm going to, and I know about them.
Yeah, people regularly talk about how welcoming they are and how relaxed they are, and I make a point of going around talking to as many people as I can, making sure people are at ease. And there's other people who come to the events who are good at that as well. So I don't know, I think I set the tone for the vibe for the event as well, and even my style when I'm hosting events is quite relaxed, I think, quite informal. Yeah. And that puts people at ease as well. Yeah. I mean, there's obviously much better, like Alfie Joy's an amazing host. He's a much better host than me, and he's absolutely incredible. I'm the producer, I'm the curator, I bring it all together, but I'm not Alfie Joy. I'm not like a keynote speaker. I'm there to.
Were you nervous then when you stood up?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always nervous. I think it's, but once it was underway, I'm relaxed. Yeah. I'm more nervous in the build up to it, and like the night before and the morning of, because there's so much gone into it, and it's the same with every other big event I've done. Like, yeah, it's just it's weird. Once the event's underway, I relax. I mean, like, there's so much going on and there's so many moving parts, particularly on the first day. But it's an amazing venue, big crowd. Alfie by my side, he is great at, like, in the wings, like me and him were like, all right, Alfie, you do this bit and I'll do this bit. We were like a proper team. Yeah. The staff, the AV technicians were incredible. So I had other good people around me that like, it wasn't all on me.
Yeah, so you had other people to carry you as well.
And my business partner, Neil, as well. He's not an events guy, but he's there. He's a business guy, so he's like networking and he's talking to partners and he's doing his bit, like making sure people are involved and we had some volunteers as well.
That's so short. Do you class yourself as an introvert or an extrovert?
I'm an extroverted introvert, I think.
Okay, explain that.
I think I'm more introverted than extroverted, but I've forced myself to. I put myself in situations where I have to be extroverted.
Yeah.
And I'm used to it now. So, yeah, I'm quite.
So is it not terrifying? Like the first time?
Uh-huh.
Have I got this right? Did you start up in 2016?
Yeah, you've done your homework, yeah.
And then did you do your first ever event literally in 2017?
Yeah. Well, I'd done smaller events, and I'd had jobs where I was helping.
Yeah.
As part of
but then the
first
pressure isn't
event on my own, yeah.
That's really, really, really brave. So were you shitting yourself that people weren't going to turn up and no one would buy a ticket? And
yeah, but yeah, I think it was. So I did the first one in May 2017, but I decided I was going to do it in the September just before. So what's that? 9 months or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I just picked a date. I said, right, I'm going to do it, and I just thought, right, I'm committing. I'm just going to do this event on that date, and then I announced it and started selling tickets, started pushing it and organising it and everything. It's all right. It's live.
Max is back.
Yeah, so I just committed to doing it, and then just made it happen.
I think
I just believed that there was a need for it, and that I would make it happen, and just went for it.
I just think that's really, really, really brave. Like I just
stupid,
think,
yeah.
But I feel like mine's a teeny tiny scale, obviously. But it's like the first time I decided when I said I was gonna do this, I said if I'm gonna have to do it now, then otherwise I'll bottle it. Yeah. So it was like I decided one week, and then the next week I already had Neil booked in on a date time, booked in, video, everything ready, so that I couldn't bottle it. Mm-hmm. That's just a really crap example.
No, that's good. No, that's good. Yeah.
I just absolutely love that because that's terrifying. Like me thinking that what I did was terrifying. That's nothing compared to organising a big event and literally not knowing if anyone's going to turn up.
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously you're selling tickets, so you could see.
I know, but
even then, because the other thing, so like I produced the event, got all the sponsors, sorted out all the venues, curated the speakers, did all the marketing, did all this, like did everything. But then I thought, shit, I've never actually run an event like this because I do lead people alongside. So I brought in a lady a bit nearer the time. After about 5 months or whatever, I brought someone in who had more experience of running events. So the final few months, that gave me a bit of confidence. Okay, there's someone who has actually run an event before who will think of things that I won't think of. And then that was great. And then I brought in a professional events company just to run day one.
Oh, okay.
So they were like doing all the check-ins and ticketing. And so again, the first day, I felt like, okay, there's a team here. It's not all on me on the delivery. Still, it was all on me in the build-up and making it happen. But yeah, on the delivery, there was other people involved. But then the way the event's structured, day one's the main event that most people go to. But then you've got days 2 to 5, which not everyone goes to them. It's usually pretty much everyone goes to day one, and then they'll go to maybe one other day or 2 other days or 3 other days. Some people go to all 5 days. Yeah. But days 2 to 5, it's basically just me running around, just like doing everything.
Like a headless chicken.
And that's what I did this year as well. It was basically just me. Like
you must just like do you do something on the Friday? Do you go out on the Friday or celebrate, or are you just
at the end of the week? Crash? Oh yeah. So we did like a closing party, drinks. Really, really nice Indian restaurant called Saba Maison Deluxe.
Wow.
Which is beautiful in Sunderland. So where the final venue, because we use different venues every day, the final day was Hope Street Exchange, which is part of the university. But on the other side of the road, literally opposite, is this beautiful Indian restaurant bar. It looks stunning inside, but it's really like quality service and it's a bit special. So there was about 55 of us went across there for food and drinks. And and another key thing of the event it wasn't just about the event, it was about supporting local businesses as well. So every day and every night people were out spending money in the local cafes and bars and restaurants. So that's.
Yeah, absolutely. How did you? So that first one that you did. Did you open it? Were you the first person on stage? Obviously, opening up the event.
So it's actually
what was that like?
It's actually on that. That's funny. So this lady I was telling you about, Sarah. The night before the event, she was like, "Right, what are you going to say when you got on stage?" She was like, "I haven't even thought about it. I've spent like 9 months pulling everything together, and I hadn't even thought about what I was going to say." So basically, what I did it this year, and I did it every other year. I basically move into a hotel for the week. So like I'm in the zone. I'm like in event mode. So we were in the Crown Plaza Stevenson Quarter Hotel, which is next opposite the Boiler Shop, which was the venue we used for day one of the Newcastle Start of Week events. So the night before, she was like, "Right, practice it. Show us what you." I couldn't even string a sentence together. She was like, she gave us a bottle of water and she was like, "Pretend that's a microphone. Like just pretend you come on stage." Honestly, it took us about 10 attempts to even.
Do you remember what you said?
Nah. So I mean, it got a bit easier, but she was like, again.
You need someone like that in your life, don't you?
And then it was like that. So I was like, "All right, okay, I think I know what I'm going to say." And then on the day, it was like, "Are people going to turn up?" Because I deliberately kept the tickets really, really cheap the first time. I mean, I was practically giving them away. Some of the tickets were only 20 quid for a 5-day multi-venue citywide event. So I thought, some people might just think I'm not going to bother turning up. But then everyone just started arriving. So I was just like, because when you see all the empty seats, it's like, shit, that's a lot of seats to fill. But when people came in and filled it.
What percentage of tickets got sold on the first one?
What percentage? What do you mean?
I said, if of the room, what percentage of the room was filled?
Oh, this, yeah.
On the first one.
Right. Well, this is the first year I had 600 people.
Bloody hell!
Second year,
so in 9 months, you created an event and got 600 people there.
On the first year. Second year, 600. Third year, 800. Nearly killed myself doing that. I didn't know, it was hard work. But then this year, I had 420, which I'm not going to say I'm disappointed, but I was hoping for more. But I think that's as good as I could do in New City. Sunderland's not had a big event like that before. Yeah. So it's a new audience, yeah. So
do you think it's made a difference being Newcastle and Sunderland's made that much of it, even though it's not that far apart?
Totally. And I knew it would anyway, but I still wanted to do it because I genuinely think Sunderland's like the most exciting place in the northeast.
I have to say, I learned so much about Sunderland. It blew me away.
So much going on. So I did think it would be harder, but it was really hard.
But actually, the fact that you got that many people to an event in Sunderland is actually a mega achievement.
Yeah, and you know, we've had, eventually I'll stop talking about, we've had the lockdown. You know, there was a lot of momentum. I had a bigger network in Newcastle and Gateshead anyway for years of attending events and being part of things going on in Newcastle. So I suppose there was a bit of momentum around me and what I was doing, and then I did the event, and that was hard, creating something out of nothing. But then I did that, and then the second one was a bit easier, and then the third one was a bit easier. So there's a lot of momentum around it, but then it just stopped.
Yeah. You can't really stop talking about lockdown, can you? Because at the end of the day, it's massively, that obviously has had a massive impact.
Yeah, well, it definitely did to me, because my business, I was doing consultancy, but most of my business was events. Yeah. So I couldn't run events, so my income fell off a cliff, and moved things. I did move it online. I did do 2 online events.
How did they go?
I had 300 people. Wow. I did 2 of them. Good, but not the same. Still did a 5-day event. Did 2 5-day events, and it was a mixture of live streaming and some pre-recorded videos and workshops and presentations that were just uploaded at a certain time. Yeah. So it was as if it was a live event. we did that for over 5 days. So they were great, but like I say, not the same. You
Yeah,
don't get the
it's
same
not.
energy and vibe.
Are you going to be doing all the rest of them in Sunderland then?
I don't know yet. Haven't decided. I think I loved doing it in Sunderland. I'd like to do it because in 12 months' time there'll be even more to celebrate about what's going on there.
Yeah.
But some of the new projects that are just coming to fruition now will be up and running.
I have to say, I didn't realise there was so... I feel really naive saying it, but I didn't realise how much was going on in
a lot of people don't.
Sunderland.
Like, even people in Sunderland don't. So, but I think the region... So you probably know, like, I'm really passionate about the whole of the North East. I want the whole of the North East to do well. But if you just focus on Newcastle, we've shown over however many, 30 odd years, like, it's not enough. You need Newcastle doing well, Sunderland doing well,
Exactly.
Middlesbrough doing well. You need all the towns and cities in between doing well. If it's just focused on Newcastle, it's not big enough.
Yeah.
So people need to get over that. And football does have a... football's great, but there's more to the region than football.
Yeah.
And that is a barrier. I think that's holding the region back, that football rivalry.
Yeah.
And there's too much in the past, I think, it's being led by the public sector. So when it's council-led activities and support programs, they can only support things in their local area. Whereas if I'm doing it independently, I'm not limited to that.
Yeah.
I can be regional, and I can bring people in from outside the region and really push it like on a national and international level.
Have you got any ideas for who you're going to ask or approach for next year?
Oh, I've got some ideas. Yeah, I've gone to, who would you like to see?
Oh, do you know what?
Who would be your top choice?
Oh, it's a tough one. Because honestly, Sarah Davies has been my I wanted to say girl crush, but that sounds a bit weird. But I was so excited when so excited because I love.
She's so nice. Yeah.
And I love that she's just her. She's just her. She's not trying to be somebody else. And that she was really honest about a story about how she got on Dragon's Den, and I just find her inspirational for that.
Well, have a think.
I will.
I mean, she was perfect choice. But so I was saying before, I went through an agent, but then I had a meeting with her. It was like a video call with her about a week and a half before the event, and I was a bit nervous meeting her. I was like, I hope she likes us, and I hope she.
Oh.
Anyway, she came on, and straight away she was like, "Can I just say how lush it is that you've got a North East accent?" So we just started chatting, and it was like two old hinnies just chatting away. It was just,
that's so
we got on
nice.
so well, and she was like, "Tell me about you and why you're doing what you do." So I told her, and she was just like smiling the whole way. She was going, "I love it. I love everything about what you're doing, and we're going to make this the best event ever." And then
and she's talked about it online as well, hasn't she? So she's supported it online.
Yeah, because that's the thing when you go through agents as well, because it was like, right, okay, she'll do it for this, but she'll do one social media post. It's like, oh, right, okay, well, it'd be great if we could do a bit more than that, but okay, one would be good. Can you? So she did. She announced it, and I was like, can you do it on LinkedIn? So, but this is all through the agent. So she announced that she was speaking on LinkedIn. So I was like, right, that got a good response. That's great. It's not just me talking about it. It's her talking about it. And then, but I kept tagging her in stuff, and she wasn't like liking or retweeting. I was like, oh, right, okay. Anyway, she admitted on the call, she was like, I don't really know how to use LinkedIn. She said I normally have an assistant doing my LinkedIn. So I was like, she was like, how do you do it? How do you? So I was like teaching her. I was like, right, go here, click on that, go here. I was like, look, there's a post that I've put about you here. Could you like share that? So this is after the video call.
I'd be like, just give me your phone now.
So she was like, right, I will. I'm going to put, and then as soon as I came off the call, she put a really lush message about how she'd just come off a fantastic call with me and how excited she was. And I knew it was her because there was a couple of like spelling mistakes or like I was like, right, that's her. That's definitely her that's done that. Not like made it, but like when it should be a capital.
It was just a real. It was just.
It was
real.
authentic. That was
yeah.
it. And then after the event, she posted another one which I wasn't expecting about. Like,
it was a lovely one
was
that as
lush.
well.
So that really made me day when I saw that. I was just like, because she was amazing. Like in the run up and then on the day itself, she was backstage and just like. She gives great hugs, She's,
oh, do you know what it is? See, I just love her even more now.
I do.
Oh, because you know how you sometimes hear about people, people that you look up, people who you find inspirational, and then you hear stories about them, and actually they're just a bit of an arsehole, or fame's gone to their head, and she doesn't seem that doesn't seem like that with her at all.
Not at all.
I love the fact that she even said she doesn't even know how to work LinkedIn. Because wouldn't most people,
That's an
most people at that level, they would, they just don't admit to things. Just admit that you're shit at things. That's just, I find that's one of the things that we're always saying, isn't it, on here? Just admit that you're shit at things, or also admit that you were shit at what you do now before you got good at it.
No one's great from the beginning, are they?
Exactly.
Apart from you, Anna, and all your podcasts, so just hit the ground running.
Yeah, hit the ground running. But but just keep all the crap in, don't we? Yeah. You don't go in and edit everything out and make me look like I know what I'm talking about.
It doesn't get a lot of editing at all.
Exactly.
Because I think it needs to be raw and honest, and that's what you set out to do.
Exactly.
It's good.
Because I want people to see, to be able to say, oh God, look, she was so shit. Because then hopefully, when you would like to think that hopefully down the line, I'll be better, a lot better, and people will think, one day someone might say to me, hey, you're really good at this, and I'll be like, no, but look at episode 1, look how bad I was.
I think you're doing very well. You're doing very good conversationalist, good host.
Oh, thank you. That's well, do you know what? Coming from you, I'm absolutely taking that. I'm going to record that and play it back to myself. Okay. Were you nervous coming here? Be honest, even though it's just me.
Not really, no. I'm in a very chilled space right now, because like...
It was just when you had to speak into the camera, though.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's always a bit... You have to get in the zone for that. But pretty relaxed about this. But I think just because, obviously, I've done this big event last week. It went really well. I'm really happy. Like,
you must still be on a high from it.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it. You're married, aren't you?
Yeah.
Right. I think it feels like I'm on a honeymoon.
Oh.
When like you've got this big event and all, it's building up towards this big event, and then it happens, and then you're married, and then...
Because now you can actually enjoy it because it's over.
You're just relaxed, it's over, and you're still like remembering how awesome it was. Oh. And people are...
Looking at the pictures.
Yeah, looking at the pictures and sharing photos on...
Oh my
and
God.
Then people are leaving me alone because they know that I'm going to be like knackered. So no one's bothering us, no one's pestering us. I'm just floating around having a great time. I'm just doing this week. I'm doing a little bit of light work, but it's mostly I've done a little bit of admin. I've mostly just been sharing photos on social media.
Yeah.
This is fun for me doing this.
Yeah.
This morning I went to Gator College and there was like a student startup end of year exhibition, so they asked us to go along, and I was just like giving some like encouragement to the students.
Oh, lovely! So that's just such a nice thing to do.
So
anyway,
I enjoyed that. That was fun, and like some of them had been to the event last week, so they were buzzing off that, and then I
love the way you've described that as being on a honeymoon, because I totally get that. So because you've got the build up, then you don't really remember too much of the wedding, do you? Because it's so everyone wants to speak to you, and it's exhausting. But then you go on the honeymoon, and you just. Now it's like now I can enjoy that's happened. Exactly. Now I can enjoy it.
Exactly.
Now I can look at the photos and look what people are saying and take it all in, and that's so nice.
I know, it's lush, and like like literally all day, every day last week there was just a flood of positive comments on social media. I know other people have seen it because people have said, "Oh, bloody hell, it's everywhere," but I see everything. So it's like literally just all day, every day. I was just like, this is mega. And it's like, I'm seeing different angles of the event, and then people commenting on not just how much they enjoyed the speakers, but like the vibe and the connections that they made. And just...
Are you keeping a log? Do you ask people what they might have got out of one of your events, or like what
no,
connections.
But
they've
I
made,
need to do. I should do that because that's something I haven't done in the past, and I should, because I can see things happening. I know things are happening. People tell us, but often I don't find out until later. But like there was a lady there on Wednesday. We did the funding and finance day, and on the Tuesday we had a workshop where people were practicing pitching for investment. So we had a few people did that, and then we picked 3 of the best, and we invited them back the next day to pitch in front of some investors at the end of the day on the Wednesday. But we had 2 others that we knew were like really good at pitching and were actively looking for investment. So one of those, she pitched for investment, and she said, "Oh, can I just say, I've just got another investor off the back of Startup Scale Up Week." So she said, "Thank you for." Because she'd announced that she was going to be pitching at the event on social media, and then she'd come to the event and she'd met an investor through this. I was like, wow, that's awesome.
Just incredible.
Yeah, and then just lots of other people who...
Because it's everyone's tiny
Everyone's
little
got one
individual
little
story.
Yeah, exactly. And there's people who have come a bit nervous and they've gone away a bit more confidence. They've got a new network. They've been inspired. They've learned something. They've met a new partner, a new client. Even the local businesses, like I was saying, they're happy because they've got some extra footfall in and they made money. So if you had all of these, what about, could you not? I need to ask people to say.
Yeah, you do.
But maybe it might take it's almost a week later now. So like next week, I think I'm going to ask people to say, look, has anything come off the back of it?
Exactly.
Because there was
Because even if you just screenshotted at all of those...
there's so much of it. I do need to pull together some sort of report.
People would even be happy to do video testimonials. What's that website called where you just send somebody a link and they do their own...
Ah, right, yeah.
I can't remember what it's called now, but it's great. You don't even need any of the equipment. It's an email that you send out to everybody who's willing to, and you might have 2 or 3 questions. They press record. They get to speak whatever the answer is, and then they can even press redo if they're not happy with it.
Yeah, right. I don't know.
So it takes so I'll find out what it is and let you know.
Yeah,
but it takes away the fear of them thinking, oh God, or you having to go and get a camera equipment or do any of that. And it takes away the fear of them saying something and feeling like an arse because they can just delete and start again.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Because people have posted amazing things on social media, so it'd be good to capture that somewhere else. And I'm going to ask some of them to say, look, can you just cut and paste what you've written there into like a Google review or Trustpilot review or something like that. But because
as you know, you've got to ask. Everyone's willing to do it. Like 99% of people will be more than happy. But unless you ask people, they just don't think.
People are busy, don't they?
Yeah.
But I remember it was last year, the platform events I do, there's a guy who he spoke at one of my platform events, but he did like a fireside chat, like an interview about... I usually get people who are successful in business talking about how they started and whatever. And I had no idea that he was thinking about starting his business at the last Startup Week event in 2019 in Newcastle. And he said, because of that event, I launched my business. And now he's like Europe's biggest tech recruitment platform. And it's like, he would have probably done it anyway, but like still, the fact that he said it was because of that event, I was like, yeah, I'm definitely doing it.
And the fact that you do these every year, it's like you've got a constant source of like energy to uplift you now because of all these stories, because you're just impacting so many people's lives.
Because I wanted to be, obviously it's a week-long thing, but I wanted to be all year round. I don't want it to be just that. And that's why I started doing the monthly events as well, to try and keep the momentum going all year round. So it used to be called Founders Friday.
Right.
So I think it was 2018. So I'd already done 2 of the Startup Week events, and then I started doing a monthly event called Founders Friday to keep the momentum going. Like a smaller event.
Is it still on a Friday then?
Yeah, but I've renamed it Platform.
Yeah.
So Platform is the new Founders Friday, but I was going
to say mine was going off.
Should have turned this off. It's on silent at least. Yeah, so the Founders Friday events used to be 9 till 3:30, but now it's 9 till 12.
Right.
It's much more.
I was going to say, because that's a full day, but half a day.
Yeah,
Half a day is yeah.
Yeah, because the Founders Friday events were great, but what you'd find is in the morning it would be really busy, and then at lunchtime people would drift away, so you'd have the business owners and the funders and investors and like intermediaries would come in the morning, then they would have lunch, and then the ones that would stay in the afternoon were the business owners. Now it's like 3 hours, it's packed, it's like 50 to 80 people every event. That's
pretty good. Do you have people coming every?
Yeah, we've got some regulars who come every month, but we do them now in. I started them in January last year, in Newcastle. First one straight away had 80 people, and then it's kept pretty much that level every month. But I started doing them in Sunderland in June last year as well. They're slightly smaller. Usually get between 50 and 70.
That's massive compared to
every month, and then we started doing Middlesbrough a few months ago. Again, usually between 50 and 60 there, and we've done a couple in Edinburgh as well.
And how have they gone?
Good, really good. We had similar numbers, about 50 odd there. But what's nice is...
Are you doing the monthly in Edinburgh then? Or?
I have been. Like this month I'm not doing any events because of last week. I'm just like, I'm not doing any of the events this month. I think Edinburgh, great as you are, I think we're going to do it maybe quarterly or every 2 months, just because in the lead up to the Startup Scale Up Week event, I was doing an event pretty much every week. So I was doing first Friday of the month Sunderland, second Middlesbrough, third Edinburgh, fourth Newcastle. And lush as it was, it's just a bit too much really. So
I'll have to go to an Edinburgh one, because then it's just another excuse to go to Edinburgh.
It's great. I mean, it's only an hour and a half on the train, and the Scots quite like us. They do. They're not so keen on other parts of the country, but they like us in the northeast.
That's only because they call us Scots with our brains kicked out, though. But they do. No, we've met some. Me and my husband go to Edinburgh regularly, and we've got some really good friends there now. We absolutely love it.
It's a capital city. For years, like going back, I was saying about Shell Live via this youth enterprise scheme I used to work for. They did a lot of work in Scotland, so I used to go up there all the time. And I always thought, like, Scotland, there's lots going on, particularly in the startup scene. It's obviously a capital city. There's lots of money floating around there. There's more bigger businesses in Edinburgh and Glasgow now, but they still have their own challenges where they need help scaling up. And we've got things in the northeast that they haven't got, and vice versa. So for years I've been thinking we look south all the time, but actually if we look a bit north, the northeast and Scotland, we've got a geographical advantage over the northwest and Yorkshire because of the proximity. Very similar attitude and personality of a region sort of thing. And they're quite receptive to it as well when I've been going up there. So the platform events are useful because a bunch of people from the northeast have been going up to Edinburgh, and we've been getting people coming down. So last week I had a load of people from Scotland came down.
Oh, brilliant! So, that's great, isn't it?
Yeah, but you need to be on the ground. I can't just sit here and say come down from Scotland. I've got to spend some time up there to
actively
build some bridges and So
obviously, what's made you so good at being able to just connect? Why are you so good at that? I feel if I tried to put an event on, I'd be sat there with Neil, and I'd just go, Neil, where is everyone?
I don't know. I'm probably not the best person to ask. Like maybe ask other people. But
what do other people say? What do other people say about why you're good at connecting?
Probably goes back to what I was saying before. I think people get that it sounds cheesy. There's a lot of heart and soul goes into it. Like I do genuinely want people to benefit, and like I want to connect people, and I want people to fulfill their potential and grow their business, and I enjoy that. And I'm not.
Whereas you're not putting it on to be. I would imagine some people might put it put an event on because they want them to be maybe the star of the show, and it might be all
Yeah,
around building
it's not about
something
me.
around them
Exactly.
rather than...
It's not about me. I'm obviously the conduit and I bring it all together, but it's
Mhm.
I'm not the star of the events. But also there's like, I've done things for years when there's no real reward. Do you know?
Mhm.
It's not a financial reward. Like, I'll do it anyway. Like, I make money obviously I make money from ticket sales and sponsorship. But
Yeah.
I've made money in other ways to support the free stuff.
But you think, but if you'd started it as a money-making scheme, it would
I would
never
have
have
given
been
up.
what it
But
was.
yeah, like, I would have given up before. Like,
Yeah.
lots of people will only do things if there's money to be made, and I think people know that. And
Yeah.
and that's why I started my own business in the first place, because I'd worked for government organisations and youth enterprise schemes and local enterprise agencies who are good at what they do, but it's funding led. So
Yeah.
they'll do a project for a certain period of time, the money runs out and then they can't do it anymore, but there's still a need for what they were doing.
Mhm.
And then if it doesn't fit that strict criteria, they won't do it.
Yeah.
Or there's like loads of admin or like hoops that you have to jump through, where I'm like, well, okay, let's center everything around what that person needs or these people need, and I'll just figure out a way to pay for it. So, which is harder, but I enjoyed it. It's crazy. Got to be creative.
Can I ask you a question that's not my question, right?
Yeah.
So it's not. I can't be like, I can't be blamed for this, right? Because
Go on.
these are AI questions.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I just asked AI this morning.
Mhm.
So I wrote them. They're in my handwriting purely because I wrote them down on cards. Okay, but you
Why
can't
are you laughing?
blame the bot, right?
Okay,
You can't blame me
Okay.
because I didn't write them.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Oh, have I got to just do? Oh, right. Okay.
I'd like you to pick one.
Okay. Oh, what's something you've never forgiven yourself for? Don't know. Nothing.
Nothing.
No.
Well, that's good.
No, I'd forgive myself. I'm a good person, aren't I? You know, like, but like, everyone makes mistakes, don't they? But like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never. I don't know. Like, so, well, you probably don't. So, I am divorced, right? So I was married for 13 years, and then we did split up just before the lockdown, right? That was not easy. Obviously, it never is, right?
Yeah.
And that was the hardest thing to like tell the kids that we were splitting up.
Oh,
that was
yeah.
like really upsetting, but it was the right thing to do.
Yes.
And actually, like, me and my ex-wife are good friends again, right?
Oh,
So
wow.
it was difficult at first, but like we are good friends
Yeah.
again, and the kids have always been the priority. And obviously, I think most people would rather you like stay together, and I'm sure the kids would rather I was around more. But like, I see them every weekend. I see
Yeah.
them every week. It's like, and I think I've come to terms with that. So like, when during the lockdown, obviously, my income fell off a cliff. I got separated, going through a divorce.
God, that's
Moved out the family home. Like, just it was a struggle. Right,
Yeah.
it was difficult, but I had a bit of coaching, had a bit of mentoring. Just did a lot of reading. Did a lot of. Have you heard of Stoicism?
Yes.
Yeah. So I started getting into all that sort of stuff. Read things like the Daily Stoic, and really good book called How to Think Like a Roman Emperor,
Okay.
which is about Marcus Aurelius, who was like considered the best Stoic, or one of the most best examples. So he was a Roman emperor, but he was a philosopher
Yeah.
as well, and I just found that really helpful.
And do you live by that now? Would you class yourself as a Stoic?
Yeah, I think I'm a spiritual Stoic.
Okay.
So I think what I like about Stoicism is very practical, like advice on how to live your life, and it's the general gist of it. It's more complicated than this. Is that bad things will happen. People will say and do bad things, right? You can't control that. The only thing you can control is how you react and how you respond, if at all. So I think it is. It's a useful thing to try and remember. You don't know, you can't always do it because like human emotions.
But I'm learning more and more about. I mean, because I've said that over the last year. Definitely started living by that a lot more. By that, you can, and it is hard. It's very hard.
It is hard. So you have to like sort of unlearn things and learn, but it's I think it's useful to know, to be aware of that. That like you can ultimately choose how you react to things. So I think that's really helped in a lot of things, not just personally, but through business as well.
Yeah.
It's like you just I can't control what other people do, but I can control what I'm doing. And so just trying to stay on that. But then I say a spiritual Stoic because like some people think Stoicism is it is practical, and some people think it's unemotional. It's not unemotional. It's just like.
Why do people think it's unemotional?
Because they think because you don't react, or you like. I mean, I do. I am an emotional person.
Yeah.
But
so does that mean you're not supposed to show anger, or?
It's just being aware of that, and sometimes you do need to be angry. Sometimes you do need to react, but it's knowing that you can control that, and some people have no control over their emotions, and they're actually can be quite dangerous people to be around, because they can just like screw everything up if people are all over the place. So I try to avoid people like that. But some people think that Stoicism is uncaring and unfeeling. It's not that. It's
okay. And is that so? What got you into that though?
So it was actually before I was going. My marriage was like having difficulty. So and then just through my events, actually just got talking to some people who were really into it, and I was just like, well, I'm really into history, and I'm really into philosophy, and I'd never heard of it, but the way they explained it, I was just I think I'm a Stoic already.
So you've even discovered something in yourself through doing your own events, haven't you?
I was like, I'm always learning. Like even though I'm putting on the events, I'm a massive fan. I'm just sat there like lapping it up and loving it. So I've created the ideal events for me, really.
Yeah.
But that's that. But then another thing. Other thing I like is there's a guy called Mike Dooley who he writes a lot about his mantra, or his sort of saying is thoughts become things. So I do believe in that. A lot of people talk about the law of attraction and manifestation and stuff like that, right? But what he's saying is everything that's positive that's happened in your life and negative, it started with a thought. Yeah. Right? So be careful what thoughts that you have. I think that links quite nicely with Stoicism, because your emotions and your thoughts, just being really aware and mindful of what you're thinking. Because if I thought, I'm doing this event but it's going to be a disaster, no one's going to turn up, I wouldn't have been able to do it. Yeah. You know, you have to believe that it's going to happen, and that if you do the work that it'll all come together. There's loads of stuff that happened last week that I hadn't have thought of. Like I couldn't know every single detail, but I knew what I created the event. I sorted all the speakers out, sorted all the venues out, did all the marketing, did all the promotion. Yeah. But the little tiny things that happened on each day, I didn't know. But I set the scene for an amazing event. But yeah, so I'm 2 books that I read a lot. Like there's the Daily Stoic. Yeah. And there's another one called Notes from the Universe, which sounds a bit...
it does, sounds a bit, but I'm assuming it's not how it sounds.
It's great. He's got a book out called Infinite Possibilities, and it's all about that.
I like the sound of that. Yeah. But Notes from the Universe is something I would never think of.
Start with Infinite Possibilities, right? Because it is all about understanding that you are in control of your thoughts and your destiny.
But I did read a book about 10 years ago, and I can't remember what you call it, but it changed my thinking entirely around, so exactly what you've just said. So I had a conversation with somebody a couple of years ago who's into, but they talk about it like vibrational frequencies and manifestation, and I'm not dissing people who talk like that, but I don't don't relate to that at all. And when people say manifesting things, what I say to them is, well, no, you haven't just manifested something. It's not about vibrational frequencies. It's because you've thought about something, and if you think about something, if you think about positively about wanting to do something, then your mind's going to automatically give you more ways to do that. Just the same as if you think, I'm really shit, your mind's going to give you lots of reasons why you're really shit.
Yeah, you've got to be really careful with your self-talk.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it's not manifestation, it acts like fact. Because I'm more like a factual, it's factual. It works like in a factual way rather than a...
Well, everything starts with a thought, but just thinking's not enough. You've actually got to follow it with real world action. That's what I like about this Mike Dooley guy, is it starts with the thoughts and the positive approach to life and everything you're doing, but then you've actually got to do something with it.
And it's like the fear thing, action conquers fear. You're always going to have, the fear is never going to go away until you actually start actioning it, and it's all...
It's less scary.
Yeah.
I'm always reading and I'm always learning. So, have you heard of there's certain books that people reference all the time, and I'm like, I need to read that book to see what they actually mean, because often people misquote it or they don't really know what they're talking about. So, have you heard of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill? Have you read that?
I've read half of. I've still got it on my bookshelf, and I've read half of it.
That's probably the original book.
It's all the same. It's exactly the same concept, though, isn't it?
When people talk about law of attraction, thoughts become things, it stems from that. But if you remember, he basically interviewed hundreds of really successful business owners and business leaders and entrepreneurs, and basically documented common traits and common ways of thinking and things like that, about having a really clear idea of what you want to achieve in life. Actually writing it down, the act of writing it down is important, and it's that could be on a notepad or could be on your phone or whatever. Yeah. Looking at it every day if you can. That's why people have mood boards and different things, or that's why people have plans as well. And then being careful who you surround yourself with as well. The voices that you're listening to. That's
one of the most important. Yeah.
So I've done that a lot. I try to minimize negative voices. Yeah. So I would say pretty much everyone in my life is positive influence. I find it difficult being around negative people, because I do take on that brings me down. So I'm I need to not be around negative people.
I can be like that, and it takes me a while to I've got to shake it off.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not dancing around and singing all the time, but I think So, but that's why, the music I listen to, the books I read, the people I hang out with, the places I go, I spend a lot of time putting myself in that positive mindset, that positive state. And in the weeks leading up to this event last week, I was just every day listening to uplifting music, reading certain things, reminding myself, looking at photos of past successes.
I think that's really important what you're saying there. When people are talking about social media and how it's, I go onto Facebook and I'm filled, or I'll go on Instagram and I'm filled with all these pictures of these, beautiful women, for example, and I feel shit about myself. Perfect bodies, perfect body. If you go onto mine, it's either inspirational stuff or really funny stuff. Good. So they're the only two. Good. They're the only two. On Facebook, it's all funny. Because I like to make myself laugh. So it's first thing in the morning, I like to, anything that's going to make me laugh out loud, I'll watch. I don't see all of that in my feed. The algorithm knows that I'm just interested in inspirational and funny.
That's good.
But I think for some reason people still don't realise that you can train what you're seeing every day in your feed.
The problem is sometimes that will try and trick you as well, because it'll try and put stuff in front of you to get a response, actually, and they're always doing that. And it's not just based on your viewing habits; it's your friends or people like you. So it'll be like, all right, people in your area or your age bracket or whatever are interested in this.
So it's giving me that as well.
They present you with stuff like this. So it's really, it's difficult. So there's a guy, he's an investor, Silicon Valley investor and philosopher. I think he's called Naval Ravikant. He's a brilliant person to
I
follow.
like the name.
Yeah, he's awesome. But I remember listening to him doing a podcast, and he was saying what you got to look out for is weaponized distractions. He's saying there's people who are deliberately trying to trip you up and slow you down and distract you from what you want to achieve.
Yeah.
And that's stuck in my head, like it's weaponized distractions.
Wow, that's powerful, isn't it?
So people are trying to
Yeah.
slow you down and trip you up all the time, online and offline.
Yeah. But that's even just down, that's even small businesses are doing that at the moment, when the type of marketing that they're putting out there, which is, the scare tactics, and would you really want somebody to come and pay for your services based on fear tactics? Because I know I wouldn't. But it's everywhere. That's interesting. So is there something then that you can say that you were really bad at, or a moment that you were that you'd be happy to share, or even just like you've spoke?
Well, I told you so. A couple of things. I mean, they're related. So before last year, I mean, last week was success. So that's my last successful event, right? But the one before that, I did 3 events in Newcastle. First 2 had just over 600 people, third one 800. But I put everything into that. Like I really pushed, put everything in. But it was like work-wise, things were going really well, but outside of work, things weren't. So it was like this weird double life sort of thing. But anyway, I wasn't looking after myself. I wasn't like I wasn't exercising. I wasn't sleeping well. I was just working really hard and probably cliche, distracting yourself through work and all. Anyway, so I'm jumping about a bit. The first I'll come back to that. The first event I did, I hadn't really thought about after the event. I was just so focused on this event, putting on my first big event, first started week event. I hadn't thought about what would happen the week after or the days after. So I put on this awesome event. Everyone's loving it. I had a great time. Everyone's patting us on the back, saying that, but I was skint at the end of it because I hadn't made really any profit. I'd made enough money to pay me to go for 9 months, and everyone around me got paid and everyone did well, but I was at the end of it I was like, shit, I've just put on this amazing event and I literally didn't have enough money in my bank account to buy a sandwich. So I was just I had money coming, but I had to wait a couple. I wasn't on the streets, I had my bills paid for.
But I bet the outside version of you just
everyone's like, oh, what awesome what you've done. I'm like, yeah, but I literally can't. I'm maxed out on my credit cards. I've got no money in my bank. I can't. I've got £3 in my bank account or something to last us 2 weeks or something like that. So that was a shock, and I was I fucked up there. I've made a mistake. So I can afford a sandwich now, but but I've made sure I'm much more commercially minded now, and I'm thinking beyond that. But basically, as soon as that event was over, I was just like, I need to organise another event straight away. So I ran another event 6 months later, which was a 1-day
6 months
scale-up event for 175 people. And I made more profit, made more money from that 1-day event than I did from the 5-day event. And
was that from the learnings, though, from the first one as well, from the other one?
Yeah, I think also necessity. I was just like, I just need to. I wanted to do it anyway, and there was a demand for it, but I was just like, I need some money.
Yeah.
I need to just put on an event, and that was a great event. So start a week event, 5 days. 6 months later, a 1-day event. 6 months after that, I did the second event. So I did 3 big events in that time, and then I started doing the monthly Founders Friday events, and then I did the big event, 800 people. Anyway, I did much better after the first one. I did better, and I was doing consultancy work and blah blah blah. But then, separated, income fell off a cliff, lockdown. So then I started doing some coaching, which I love doing, one-to-one mentoring and coaching, which paid for coaching. And I do like that. I haven't done much of that recently, but I'm going to go back to doing a bit of that. But then basically I thought I need a job. So I need more stability.
Yeah.
So I got offered a job. I went back into employment for 2 years.
Oh, okay. Uh-huh.
So, you know, I've spent 2016 to 2020 being Mr. Startup guy, running events. Now I've got to take a job.
God.
So that was difficult.
Yeah.
Because I really didn't want to do it, but I got offered a job working in tech recruitment.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to work and I did 2 years working in tech recruitment. I didn't shut my business down. I kept going in the background,
Mm-hmm.
but I just thought, I need some stability here. I need some money coming in. It's the right thing to do for the family. I've got to look after the kids. I've got to look after myself. I've got to get on like steady, get more money coming in. Actually really enjoyed it. I didn't love it. I loved what I was doing before, and I love what I'm doing now, and I liked that.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew it wasn't going to be forever. But I had to park my personal dreams and ambitions for a period of time.
It's kind of like your ego as well, isn't it? You have to sort of...
Yeah, you have to swallow your pride, and just... So that was... Yeah, and then people are like, oh, that's a bit weird. Why are you doing that? I thought you'd... And it's like, yeah, but...
Needs must.
I need to. So, like I say, I did enjoy... I was looking for something, but I didn't know what. And then I remember someone was like, "Oh, why don't you just get a job stacking shelves?" And I was like, "I'm not going to stack shelves." There's nothing wrong with that, but I was like, I can't just be stacking shelves in a supermarket. Like, I'm not criticizing that, but
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to do something that was using my skills and experience. So actually working in tech recruitment was where I could still help businesses grow in a different way,
Mm-hmm.
by helping them find the talent that they needed. It was a way for me to leverage my network and my influence,
Mm-hmm.
and it did work, because in tech's something I'm interested in. So the company I was working for, it definitely helped them. Like I did actually do really well out of it for 2 years.
Yeah.
But I knew my heart wasn't in it. And that world, it was good experience because it was a much more commercial world. So I felt like I needed a bit more experience in a commercial environment where it's very sales focused, because that was something I felt like I was still missing. But I didn't like it that it was pretty much just about the money, and everyone I worked with didn't really care about community, didn't really care about helping businesses. It was just like, how much money can we make? So I was just like, right, this isn't me. Like, you can make money doing good things. You don't have to be just about the money. So anyway, I did it, and they benefited from having me there, and I benefited from it. But 2 years, that's a very long answer, but that's I think that's an example of where sometimes you just have to stop what you're doing, and you have to do something else. And
I'm so grateful that I'm honestly so grateful that you've been so open and honest. Like, genuinely, I could cry when people are just really could, because everyone just
been on a journey, Anna.
We have been on a journey.
So like
I haven't asked to see again.
but that
don't even know what's on it.
That event, I put a lot of thought and time and effort into that. Like, I know everyone works hard, but I worked really, really hard on doing that. So it was so amazing that it worked.
Yeah.
As well as it did, and it was a real relief that it had paid off in so many ways. So that's why I'm in my honeymoon phase this week.
I'm sorry, but I feel like I need to applaud. Thank you, Paul Lancaster. Thank you for being real and being honest and being open and just being amazing.